John Kerr was the most controversial Governor-General we've had in our recent history. He was notorious or famous, depending on your point of view, because he sacked the Whitlam government, and that happened on the 11th of November 1975, but it still reverberates today. I think John Kerr retained a fascination with what are known as the reserve powers of the Crown, the ability of a Governor or Governor-General to intervene and, in most extreme case, to dismiss the government of the day. Sir John qualified as a lawyer, went to the bar. He was appointed Chief Justice of the New South Wales Supreme Court, and there he was a very effective Chief Justice. In 1974, the term of the previous Governor-General, Sir Paul Hasluck, was coming to an end. Prime Minister Whitlam wanted to extend Paul Hasluck's term, but Hasluck turned it down, so he had to find another Governor-General. He offered it to the Melbourne businessman Kenneth Myer, but Myer declined. He then discussed it with his Deputy Prime Minister, Lance Barnard, and saying to Barnard that if he was interested he could have it, but if he wouldn't, he was going to offer it to John Kerr. And Barnard said, well, I think Kerr would be the better option. Whitlam knew that Kerr's political views had moved considerably from the left to the right, but what Whitlam didn't know was that Kerr had retained this lifelong interest, some people say almost an obsession, with the reserve powers of the Governor-General. In 1975, the Whitlam government was making a lot of very rapid reforms, which were controversial in themselves. But by 1974-5, there were a number of signs of incompetence and mismanagement in the economic affairs of the government. The opposition at that time had a majority in the Senate, and the opposition leader, Malcolm Fraser, decided to use the power of the Senate to block the supply, or in other words, not pass the budget. So there was a very high-pitched crisis atmosphere. But when Whitlam went to Government House by invitation, he advised the Governor-General to call a half-Senate election. But the Governor-General said, it's too late, I've already determined your commission. In other words, I have sacked you. And he presented Whitlam with that letter. Whitlam didn't know that Malcolm Fraser had already been invited over and was waiting to be invited in to see the Governor-General to be commissioned to form a new government. After the dismissal, there was intense controversy, political controversy for some time. Kerr himself was the subject of many and sometimes quite violent demonstrations. He became extremely unpopular, of course. It was a relief to everybody, including the palace, when Kerr resigned in 1977. And his last years were very sad. He spent a lot of time virtually in exile. The first 18 months of his term as Governor-General will forever lead him to have a very poor record in history.